I'm Dennis Banks. I'm with the American Indian Movement. I'm also a member of the Leech Lake Band, Ojibwe tribe. And I'm here to attend the Frozen River Film Festival of 2011. This is January 29, 2011. Good day to live. Well, I had said, you know why I said no? Because I didn't remember I had been in Winona, and I told the people, I said I hadn't been in November, I had never been in Winona before, and then they produced a photo of me and Russell Means and Bill Kunstler. We were speaking at Winona State University back in 1974, so 37 years ago. The film festival, the Frozen River Film Festival. I came here because, well, of course we've been attending film festivals on the release of A Good Day to Die, but I was interested in coming to Winona because it's in my home state, but it sounded like I'd never been there before, and I wanted to come here and see what Winona was about. So that's why I came. Bill Kunstler was an extremely great trial attorney. In 1974, I was facing 250 years in prison plus a life sentence, and the job that we put on the defense committee was to find attorneys across the country that would come and defend us. And Bill's name came up, and he wanted to become involved with Wounded Knee because he saw it as a very that there'd be constitutional issues that might surface, and he wanted very much to be involved in it. We also put out a search also. Our committee said we'll find the best Native attorneys around the country to defend you. And I said, I want the best trial attorney. If that trial attorney is black, I want him here. If he's Native, then he should be here. And we didn't have any money, so it had to be done with that understanding. That we didn't have any money, and perhaps because we were indigenous, maybe the courts could help out with some of the costs, of which they did in the end. But Bill Kunstler, then our search and his volunteering came almost at the same time. And of course, I had heard about Bill, I'd heard about his work, and definitely we wanted him here. Well, I think first of all, the Good Day to Die is a archival, and it's a historical document. The content is historical, and has great significance of what the history was during this time of our existence between Native people and America. But A Good Day to Die was about the things that I felt should die. The racism, discrimination, bigotry, and veiled discrimination, veiled bigotry, the bigotry that comes across in the movies, the racism that comes across in the textbooks. So this is what I felt when we were going to Custer that morning I said it was a good day to die. And for Custer, South Dakota, because they represented the epitome of racism. They represented the bigotry of discrimination. I mean, the town itself, Custer, it's like as if Germany wanted to build a town in Poland or in Israel and called it Hitlerville. I mean, that's the same. And basically, yes, it is about Dennis Banks and the rise of the American Indian movement, but it's about other issues as well. And those issues are far-flung, they're very deep, and the conquest of America, written by white people in this country, is about what they think conquering also Native people. But as I ran across yesterday, I seen on the board that they can conquer you politically, they can conquer you militarily, but if there's also spiritual conquest, and if spiritual conquest is not achieved, then they will never, ever conquer those people, any people. And in this case, it's Native people. Well, I know why it was, because of racism in this country, discrimination. Up in Minnesota, well, we were focusing only on Minneapolis. When we came together, I had never thought that we're going to be a national organization, known worldwide. We wanted to stop the police brutality because most of us sitting in that room had been before the police. We'd been beaten, including myself. And we were living in slum homes, slum housing, the tenement buildings where everybody's on welfare, and we couldn't get out, we couldn't break out of the slum districts. This is where we were forced to live in. We couldn't rent big homes. We couldn't rent homes that were in white neighborhoods. And employment. We had high school graduates. We had college graduates who were janitors. They were sweeping the streets. There's nothing wrong with sweeping the streets. There's nothing wrong with being a janitor. But when the qualifications are that they could manage a company, that they graduated with MBAs, they're graduate with masters in education, and they couldn't get jobs teaching. So they were probably being a janitor for the school. I mean, that was as close as they were being to this, they're in their field. So education, housing, the employment. Unemployment for Native people is just high. It's always been 60, 70%. And America America really doesn't understand what unemployment really is. When it says it's 9% unemployed and there's a goddamn economic crisis going on, and they're crying around, and that the economy is got 8%, 9%, 10% unemployment. That's nothing. That's nothing compared to what is the unemployment for black people in this country? What is the unemployment rate for Native people? It is 70, 65, 70, 75% on any reservation. Right now, I bet you there's probably about 200 Native people on our reservation that have jobs. Out of 8,000 people, 200 jobs. America shouldn't cry too much. Then they would, if there was 60–70% unemployment in America. I mean, people would be in riots all the time. There'd be looting going on all the time. And so, so when our people end up in jail for looting, for robbing grocery stores, maybe America should understand what that's about. Well, I don't think things have gotten better. I think the attitude of people have changed a lot. I mean, even the young white people who I know, that their attitudes have changed dramatically from, say, the white counterparts who are my age, still filled with bigotry and racism. Not all of them, but some of them rednecks, they're never going to change. But what's the difference between what happened 150 years ago when Little Crow and them starving, and the chief says, "Hey, I got to feed my people," and they busted into the warehouse filled with grain and food, and they went, and that's what they did. And so, what's changed then in this country is that our people, Native people, with 60–70%, I hate to keep dwelling on that, but they're filling up the prisons with our young people. So still, nothing has changed in terms of relative what happened 150 years ago with Little Crow and his band. They went on a war path because and they broke into the government storage of foods. It's good in the sense that we will tell a story how we want to tell it. It might bend the other way as well too. Is that Native people will just start telling stories of what you'll only hear then just a point of view from Native people. If you see a white film showing discrimination, showing bigotry, I think that's what we need is people then who are extremely concerned about racism and bigotry to tell the stories and look and not caring, because if they're white, saying, "Look, some of my own white people are doing this, I've got to say that and I've got to show it." So, and if it was just all Indian, of course they would show it too. And then people would say, "Well, of course. It's an all-Indian cast, all-Indian show, all-Indian directors. Of course they're going to show white people as bad people." I think the debate will start, of course. I think we need films that are going to cause a lot of thinking, not what to think, but to think. I think that's what we need. They're starving, absolutely starving for information. It just happened, as Dave and Lynn know, that our film was on the East, and all of a sudden we're getting calls from Harvard and Yale. To go over there, and they're scrambling, to have accommodations for somebody to come over and speak about what are the issues out there. Well, I'm still getting letters from young kids from Harvard and Yale. What can we do this summer? Can we go out there? Is there gardens? You talked about people with backyard gardens. Can we go help somebody? Can we do these things like that? And I'm writing a list of things, what you can do, for a walk, for what we're doing with the walk. What you can do to help people with, bring some people who understand plant life and stuff like that, bring them out here and help, I want to start a garden too, but I don't know anything about plant life. I don't know what's good next to the potatoes and whatever. So I need somebody to come out there and say, okay, Banks, here's the potatoes. Now next row should be corn or squash or something like that. So, I mean, that's what we need. We need that kind of help. Well, I think it's important that that young people, instead of, like, say, going to Cancun for their spring break, maybe they ought to come to a reservation for a break or for a spring break. You know, come up there and bring their shovels and axes and hammers and nails, and especially springtime towards the southern part of the state, so they can help with gardens and help develop. I think they should approach community leaders. Sometimes you call, and even I have trouble. I call if I want something done. If I'm looking for somebody, I'll call the tribe first, but I won't ask the tribal council president or secretary treasurer for anything, because, oh man, they've got so many things to do. It might just sit there or request for a long time. I would say, give me who's the youth leader or something like that out in the district, and talk to them guys, you know. So I would say talk to somebody that's in say human resources, you know. There are some retired guys that could come out also as well. You know, professional welders and guys, mechanics working on for years. Because I know the retired guys will come out for a week or maybe a month, because I tried to retire one time. I laid around for 3 weeks, and I thought, holy crap, I swept my house. I swept it maybe 3 times that day. And I knew that, I got to do something. And so, I mean, then I was going to the casino, and then I still go to the casino, but then I was going to the casino all the time just to see who was around and meet. So come out. So I would say have these people come out to the res instead of coming to our casinos. Have the res go to the community. And off comes guys with hammers and nails and shovels and picks and tools, and say, what can we fix up some cars? Can we fix